The fulfillment you're searching for isn't found in escaping tension, it's found in choosing the right tension. But most people have this completely backwards. They think that life is about grinding away at a job you hate, making a shit ton of money, retiring early, and then spending the rest of your life sitting on a beach drinking pina coladas with zero responsibilities. But this is a big mistake. As Viktor Frankl put it, what man actually needs is not a tensionless state, but rather the striving and struggling for a worthwhile goal, a freely chosen task. Thankfully, I have some good news for you. We live in a generation where finding this worthwhile, freely chosen task has never been easier, and it all comes down to one word: YouTube. Why? Well, that's what I'm about to tell you in this video. If you haven't read Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, go read it as soon as you finish this video. It's transformative, and many of the ideas in this video are based off that book. Now, who was Viktor Frankl? He was an Austrian psychologist that survived 3 years in Auschwitz during World War II. And during this unimaginable horror, he developed his most powerful idea: logotherapy. It's a form of psychotherapy based on the concept that our primary motivation in life is to find meaning and significance. And many of the theories around logotherapy have had a huge impact in the way I think about the work I do. According to Frankl, there are 3 components of meaning: purpose, work or creation that actually matters; freedom, the ability to choose your own path; and responsibility, owning your choices and responses. Now, most of us are trapped in what Frankl recognised as the existential vacuum, which is a profound emptiness that derives from living a life without meaning. This condition emerges when we lack clear purpose, lose connection from our values, and just spend our days going through the motions. And this might sound familiar to a lot of you, but there's a reason for this. It's that the conventional path is designed to create this existential vacuum. In typical 9-to-5s, you rarely see the impact of your work. You have no idea how your efforts serve any meaningful end. Work gets chopped up into specialized tasks that get separated from any visible progress, turning meaningful creation into mechanical production. Since your first day of school, your brain has been programmed into a machine with its only goal being to fulfill that task it was assigned that day. But humans aren't built for this. We're autonomous beings. In conventional workspaces, the freedom Frankl identified as essential to meaning barely exists. Rigid schedules and procedures control not just when you work, but how you work, leaving zero room for personal expression. Even small expressions of individuality, such as how you decorate your desk, or how you communicate, or your working style, are frequently discouraged in the name of professionalism and consistency. And this constant external control creates what Frankl identified as psychologically damaging. You're just experiencing yourself as a replaceable object rather than the subject of your own life. And while you're technically free to leave, financial necessity creates these invisible handcuffs that maintain this illusion of choice while eliminating genuine autonomy. But this freedom that you lack is precisely what Frankl found essential for meaning in your life. Now, corporate structures deliberately distribute responsibilities so they can minimize individual accountability, but this is directly contradicting the third pillar of Frankl's meaning framework. When tasks pass through multiple departments and constantly require approvals, no one really feels responsible for outcomes that matter. Now, this lack of responsibility also explains how many corporate employees participate in ethically questionable practices, but still are able to maintain their self-image. The organizational hierarchy shields them from the full weight of responsibility that Frankl found essential for meaning. So, now we understand the problems with the conventional path that manages to trap so many of us. But what's the solution? Well, that's where I believe YouTube comes in. Unlike the conventional path where your role is defined by others, YouTube gives you full creative autonomy. You choose exactly what you want to create, your content style, and your schedule. And this freedom to pick your freely chosen task is what Frankl identified as essential for fulfillment. Whether you're passionate about philosophy, cooking, sport, or storytelling, YouTube allows you to build a creative practice around your own interests rather than someone else's. YouTube creates what Frankl would identify as necessary tension through its immediate feedback mechanisms. Every video becomes an experiment where viewers' responses through views, likes, comments, and subscribers allows for real-time evidence on what resonates. You're constantly analysing, adapting, and implementing new learnings into each video. This feedback loop generates productive struggle, which contrasts with traditional workspaces where feedback is often delayed or filtered and disconnected from your actual contribution. On YouTube, responsibility can't be diffused across departments or blamed on management. Your channel's success depends entirely on your decisions, creativity, and persistence. There is a direct relationship between your efforts and outcomes. Perhaps most aligned with Frankl's philosophy is YouTube's capacity for meaningful human connection. By creating content that helps, inspires, or entertains others, creators naturally engage in what Frankl called self-transcendence. This is where you find meaning by serving something beyond yourself. And unlike isolated corporate work, YouTube's success requires making a difference in the viewers' lives, whether that be through education or entertainment. What makes YouTube revolutionary is its accessibility, and it's the reason why I believe it's a solution to creating fulfilling lives and why I believe we live in the greatest generation of all time. Previous generations had limited pathways to meaningful work that combined creative freedom, audience connection, and ownership. Publishing required gatekeepers, broadcasting demanded institutional backing, but YouTube has democratized this access, requiring only a camera and an internet connection to begin, which all of you watching already have. This means that anyone can start the journey towards more fulfilling work and more fulfilling lives regardless of connections, credentials, or capital. But I want to make something clear. This is not going to be easy. But I don't think the meaning of life is to make it an easy one. It's about creating the right kind of tension for a life of purpose and fulfillment. And YouTube gives every single one of us the ability to do this. So all I've got to say is just get out there and start creating. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.